reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. MMO Reporter's coverage of PAX East 2012 is brought to you by our exclusive sponsor, Squarespace. So I am here talking about a very, very cool game, and this is one of the very, very few times that I've gotten to talk to the actual founder of a studio. So Nick, why don't you introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your studio, and how all of this stuff started.
Okay, well, hi, I'm Nick Niewoudt. I'm the founder of Stali Studios, and it all started about 4 years ago. I was playing competitive RTS games, StarCraft, Dawn of War, Men of War, and I loved it, but I wanted something more. I wanted the long-term strategy. I didn't want the battle to end there. I wanted to continue. I wanted to build my empire, but I wasn't willing to sacrifice that action, the on-the-field tactics that were going on in normal competitive RTS. And I wanted to play it in a seamless universe with all my friends. So I was looking for a true MMO RTS from an RTS player's perspective. So I started looking around for this game just as a gamer wanting to play it, and I could not find a game that really fit what I was looking for. So I thought, I'll go ahead and I'll see what I can put together. You know, every single gamer has that dream game they want to make, and so I figured I'll try and start designing, try and think about it more in my head, see what I can come up with. And I started looking around for other developers, started discussing these ideas and this gameplay with them, see if they liked it as well, and they really got into it. So we decided, let's start on it, let's see where we can take this. So we spent 3 years just working all the time, on nothing, all from our homes all over the world, on the lore of the game and how to get the actual servers to work. That was the biggest hurdle in this, to make a true MMO RTS, is to have the servers that can support that real action-packed RTS gameplay. So then from there, we just started just working away day after day, building up the game, building the servers, and going for the gameplay. We designed gameplay over graphics. We only actually started working on gameplay about a month and a half ago. So there's still, on graphics about a month and a half ago. Up until then, everything's been like horrible graphics, just working solely on the gameplay, trying to get that to a real micro-intensive, fun RTS action-packed gameplay.
So you brought your development team together online. One of the things you said at the panel last night was the first time the team met was at the last PAX Prime. That must have been a really challenging experience to try and build something this ambitious remotely.
The first steps of it were, but until we find this final team, it was like we just clicked. Every time we found one of these final team members, it flowed so well. We worked together great. We were all working all the time, so time zones didn't really matter too much. But all of our dreams merged together into creating this game that all of us as sci-fi geeks and as hardcore strategy gamers wanted to play. And it was definitely a lot of fun meeting for the first time. And here again at PAX East, the second time meeting, it's like your best friends that you've known for your entire life that you only get to see twice a year.
So you also mentioned last night in the panel the idea that you guys think of something, that would be really cool to put in the game, and then you put it into the game. Is that just something that you're going to continue on as you go through the development, and how are you going to try and do that and involve your community that's already started and maybe grow that community? What are some of the plans that you have for that?
Well, the thing is that we are gamers first, game developers second. I mean, we all come from gaming, and every gamer knows that feeling when they're playing a game like, the one extra feature would just be perfect in this scenario. Every time we get one of those ideas, we put it in the game. That's how this game was developed. We didn't have much of a design document at the beginning. We just ran on those great ideas. And now we started our Infiltrator program, where we actually get the community on board, bring them into the development process, and want them to help us balance the gameplay, help us work on testing, finding bugs, and help inviting them to give their opinions of those ideas that they come up with to help make this all around a better game. Because this game is developed by gamers, for gamers, and so it's the only logical outcome that we bring the gamers in to help make it even better.
So again, continuing on from the panel last night, you've actually got someone who is a specialist in military strategy, retired Air Force, I think, general, is it?
Yes.
So he's taking care of all the strategic parts. How helpful is it to have someone with that much experience be a part of the team?
Well, originally I thought that there was no place for reality in an RTS game. I mean, of course you have realistic tactics, but as someone who's been playing RTS games a lot, I thought that it wouldn't honestly add much to the game. In reality, I was shocked at how wrong I was. There is so many interesting elements of strategy that can convert into a game so well that they're just not taken into account. And so, as you said, we have a retired Major General on the team. I believe actually he is the highest ranking military advisor in entertainment history. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really impressive to also get that outside view of someone he's never gamed in his life, but get that outside view on the game, trying to make it as strategic as possible, and trying to add those elements to the player, but in an easy way that they can grasp. So, I mean, this game may sound incredibly complicated, incredibly deep, and it is, but anyone who's played an RTS game for more than a couple of hours, they can sit down in front of this, and as they are now, and just start playing the game. The first levels, it's really easy to get into, and as you get more and more in-depth into the true military strategy and tactics, and what he calls DIME, which is diplomacy, information, military economy, which are the 4 pillars to running a successful empire in a volatile situation. Once you get into those deeper levels of the gameplay, you realize there's so much there for the players to expand on and really get into the depths of the game.
So you're calling it an MMORTS. What is it about your game that makes it an MMO?
Well, an MMO, we looked at from an MMO from a player perspective. Now, when a player hears MMO, what we think of is thousands and thousands of players all playing together on one single map. And that's what I wanted in an RTS game. So our first priority was to get thousands, hundreds of thousands of players on one single RTS map. No instances, no divided up into, okay, now you go into a battle with this person, here's the separate battle that'll last for 20 minutes. This is all one massive galactic map, and that's just one server. Every server is a galactic map, and you can jump into hyperspace and go between galactic maps. And you can have hundreds of thousands of players with millions and millions of ships on one single galactic map, which is infinitely large, just battling it out for galactic superiority.
So what sort of persistence are you going to have in the game Galaxy?
It is totally persistent. It never stops. It is always going, always changing, a very dynamic environment.
Awesome. And what is your favorite thing to do when you are in this game? How do you like to play it?
Personally, I love to play it. I like to do things differently in games. I want to try and create a different way of playing them. So even in the game that I created, I still try and break the game and do something different. So I love playing as a mercenary. So what I do is I'll take small moons that belong to other players and use those as outposts all throughout the different galaxies, so I don't have any base that anyone could find and destroy. So while I'm running around trying to find high-valued targets that I could hit quickly, raid them, get a lot of resources, and then retreat back to one of my many small strongholds. And then I work really hard on my diplomatics, so the players around my little outposts all over, they like me, and I'll protect them when they need it. So I try to work as a bit as a lone ranger, a mercenary, just trying to fight in wherever I can, but trying to make sure I also make a lot of enemies that way. So that's why I try to spread out as possible so no one can really find my central base of operations and just wipe me out.
Now, 2 last questions to end it. First of all, how do you pronounce the title of your game?
Novus Aeternos.
Novus Aeternos. And the last question, because I think people are looking at this video, they're seeing you, you're a young guy. How old are you?
I'm 20.
So that's pretty impressive for someone, that's not meant to be condescending, but there's not a whole lot of founders of game studios and game developers. There's not game developers. Most people your age are doing Q&A. That must make your family incredibly proud that you're able to do so much.
Game development, I don't think they see as a real career. When I sit down with my family, they say, "Hey, Nikos, when are you going to get a real job?" So we will, but I love it. I love it, and it's great. I have so much fun here at PAX with other gamers. I mean, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not a game developer. I'm a gamer who just gets to actually create what he loves to play.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and can't wait to see more of Novus Aeternos in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you.